everyone, welcome back to our channel. Today I'm going to be doing testing basics and we are testing full coverage foundations. So we are going from low end to high end and rating them as we go, and I'm going to show you me putting them on and then what they feel like throughout the day, and then give you the result at the end. So if you're looking for a full coverage foundation for this season, then keep on watching to get some tips on which is the best for you. So I'm going to introduce each one first and then we'll go on to the testing part. Now in the lower range, I'm using the Revlon Colour Stay foundation. Now I'm going to pop on the bottom how much each of these cost as well. Now the Revlon Colour Stay is a oil control and it has components within it to help with shine, long wear, it's buildable, and they're all good things that we need in a full coverage foundation. The next one is going to be the NYX or NYX, however you say it, foundation, and this one also promotes a full coverage look as well. I chose this one because I've never tried it before and I was interested to see, because a lot of NYX products have been really good. I've been really impressed with their price point and how good the products are for that price. So I really wanted to try their foundation range because I hadn't dipped into that yet. The next one is the L'Oreal Infallible Total Coverage. This one also boasts the same sort of thing, but one of the things it boasts is that it covers tattoos, so it's a total camouflage. It'll get rid of anything. So I'm interested to see if that can actually do that. And going into the high ranges now, the illamasqua Skin Base, which if you remember back in 2015, this came out and everyone was just completely blown away by it. It's a fantastic full coverage foundation. And I have used this ever since it's come out and continue to keep using it and keep comparing it to new ones that come out, and so far it still wins for what it boasts that it does. So I'm going to put that in because it may seem like I'm biased because I love it already, but when you put it against others it kind of gives you a different opinion. So it'll be interesting to see if my opinion changes on it, of how I originally feel about it. And the last one is the Urban Decay All Nighter foundation, and this one is, I would say, slightly on the drier side. So you have dry skin, I think you'd best steer clear from this one. On the oily skin girls, this one's a great foundation. It has a tremendous amount of shade range, and I was really keen to use this to see how it kind of went up against the lower end and also like illamasqua as well, and see how well it did. So those are the 5 full coverage foundations that I'm going to be looking at, and now let's get on with the testing. Hey Hans, how are you? Not so great, but we'll move on from that. Now I've primed my skin already, and today I'm going to be using the Urban Decay All Nighter waterproof long wear liquid foundation. Okay, and now the shade I have, make sure you get yourself matched if you're going to go for this, because I am shade 1.5, which is really, really pale. And where did I put my beauty blender? Oh, there it is. And it seems to, see, I've got quite a few friends that have joined me for this party. I'm literally having a full posse around here of people all joining for this fun. They just will not relent and just like leave, you know. They're very rude and they're disdain. So I'm going to use this, it's a full coverage matte finish oil free, which is really good. Now you need to shake it before you use it, and this foundation does oxidize, so beware. This is not actually my skin colour, because like I said, it is actually a bit too matte. I am putting it straight on the beauty blender because I can't bother. I don't want to wash my hands. That sounds really horrible, but I have just washed them. And I'm just going to put it right in the centre first, where I need the most coverage. Now, and I find the coverage on it phenomenal. Phenomenal. It's fantastic. Can you see how full? Look how full that coverage is. It's a really good, just have a look in the mirror now. It's a super good coverage. But beware, if you are dry skin, I would not, I really would not recommend this foundation at all. That's really nice. Super. Okay, so now foundation in our trial that I'm using this week is the illamasqua Skin Base. I'm going to use first. This is a really nice formulation. I've used this for quite a few years now. The smell is just there's no smell, no fragrance to the, and it's a really good match for me. And I'm going to use a beauty blender this time because I always find with fuller coverage foundation, a beauty blender is the best, better than a brush. You find with a brush that you're blending more, well, it just takes more time, where this just kind of bouncing it over the skin. It's going to press it into the skin, but it's also going to be a very quick application. So it's blending in really nicely, as you can see, because it's a really good colour match. So you can see that's blending in really nicely. It's giving me a very, very full coverage. And what I like about this is it's because it blends so well and blends so easily, you can go in and reapply in the areas where you feel you just need that little bit more extra coverage. So for me, this foundation is one of my all-time favourites, and I always have it in my kit bag. Okay, with that now I'm going to use the Revlon Colour Stay foundation. Now this is the 24 hours. It's quite it's a full coverage foundation, but with a lightweight feel. That's what it claims to. Now the shade range in Revlon they've really upped their game, and I found that this is very good. It's a good drugstore option. Now it has an SPF 15 in, so I wouldn't recommend wearing this if you were getting married because of flashback. Now I've gone for the shade Ivory. Now this is incredibly pale, but the next shade up is too dark for me. It actually it's very yellowy, so you risk looking ill, a bit jaundice. So I've gone lighter so that I can just add, wow, that is really light, isn't it? Now it goes on very nicely. The application's very smooth, and it is given a really nice coverage, although I'm looking quite ghost-like with it. But the coverage is really nice. I'd be interested to know if it does stay on for 24 hours. It is giving that kind of radiant, sort of that over-powdered look that full coverages can give. And we'll see how we go with that. I like that. It's very nice. It's very nice for the price. Downside is obviously the colour match. They're not so great with the colour matches, so you are going to have to add more to it. And I'd be really interested if it does last 24 hours. That would be really interesting. Okay, hi. I'm going to be doing the... today I'm going to be wearing the Infallible Total Cover. This is by L'Oreal, and this is a full coverage long wear foundation giving a weightless feel. I had this last year, and I really do like this one. I think this is reformulated to give total cover. So it's going to leave, the finish is going to be matte, and the coverage is going to be high. It's got this Cameo Stretch technology, the ultimate spreadability and even coverage. So I'm kind of interested to see what this Cameo Stretch technology is all about. Now I've chosen in the porcelain. You can see it's very pale. Normally I'm vanilla, but as always with boots, if something's super popular, which this is at the moment, you just get no choice. Now the smell of it is very nice. It's got a slight rose fragrance to it. And it's very, very thick, a very thick consistency. So really what I should have done before I put this on, I should have put on a pore filler, something just really around my nose or my cheek, because I feel this is going to sit in it. So that's my own fault really, not good skin prep, but as you're trying these things, that's what it's all about, isn't it? It's trial and error. So I can give these kind of tips to you guys of the mistakes that I make. So the formulation, the consistency of this product feels very nice. It is blending really nicely now. It is far too pale for me. I am verging on looking like Casper the Ghost, but like with anything, we can warm it up with bronzer. I'm not too bothered about that. And it is covering really well my blemishes. I mean, what the heck is going on at the moment? Hormonal breakouts, I think, sometimes are just the worst because A, I'm too old to get spots. I'm like gonna be 37 soon, and so people don't expect you to have breakouts at this age, and B, you just shouldn't be getting spots at this age, so it just feels a little bit embarrassing. Now I can cover them and everything, but I don't really want to be wearing this much makeup because I feel it has a counter effect. You end up like suffocating your skin all the time, especially because a lot of products have this dimethicone in, which is really bad to use continuously on the skin if you're already suffering from outbreaks, because it just suffocates and it harbours bacteria. So it's a bit of a vicious circle really, but I just don't feel confident to go out with so many spots. I don't mind having the odd one or two, but when you start getting like clusters and they're all like there's like a gang going on here. I have my own posse of friends that just don't want to leave me. So I must embrace them and just live with it. And we'll just keep drinking plenty of water and hope for the best. Where my pores are more larger here, just around my nose, so I could just counteract that and put a pore filler, and I'm sure that would sort that out. It's given a nice coverage. It's taken the redness down of all the acne that I'm suffering with at the moment, and it's given a nice even white coverage that I have, looking really pretty much dead at the moment. But I do really like this for a drugstore total sort of full coverage foundation. Okay, so for my full coverage foundation, I'm going to use the NYX Stay Matte But Not Flat liquid foundation. So this is oil free, it's water based, it's full coverage, it's mineral rich, and it's going to give me a matte finish. Now it says to shake it well before, so this is going to be a first for me. I've not used this before. I picked it up in the shade Ivory. There was Porcelain, which obviously would be more of a pinky tone, but I picked this up in the Ivory. It feels very soft. You can feel like the mineral consistency of it. Yeah?
I just put this in.
Oh, good boy. Thank you. Oh, you forgot your pants. Well done. Thanks, Lulu.
Welcome.
Putting his washing away. Now, if you wanted a really super flawless finish, you could buff it in with a brush first. So, say like a Real Techniques brush. Oh, I think the buffing brush I've got is at the salon. But this is good. You could buff it all in and then go in with the Beauty blender and just pat over. It's blended really nicely. It feels quite tacky on the skin still. And it's not really covered my spots that well. It's not really covered. Look how white it is. I wish I could just change this colour a little bit. It's not really covered. I've got a really bad breakout here and here and a little bit around my nose, and that redness is still coming through. Now it's let me put another layer on, which does look a bit better, but I don't feel that it's very, and it's also sitting, you're not going to be able to see this very well, but it's also sitting in some of the larger pores. So I could have done really putting a pore filler primer on as well. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that part of seeing what the foundation looks like on and how it goes on and so forth. And now I'm going to tell you which ones that I think are the best and which ones I think just completely give a miss. So going at number 5 would be the NYX foundation. I'm going to revert to my notes here and I actually wrote like nearly a full page of how I felt about this particular foundation. Now the colour first was off. Their colour range is very limited, and I look like, I think I was in the kind of between shades, so that first went against it. Next, it left, because it was so matte, it left my skin looking very flat and very matte, to the point where I looked like a dolly kind of matte without even powdering. Within a few hours, the first parts of where I break through on the shine front is always my nose first, then my forehead, and then my chin. And my nose broke through the barrier within a couple of hours. So that was really disappointing, from going from severely matte to that shine coming through quite quickly. On the cheeks, my bronzer and my cream blusher was still there. And as it went through the day, my face was like shiny, 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 and then matte. And I still had the bronzer and the contour, and the cheek was just perfection. The rest of my face was just like a complete oil slick. So I didn't like that for that reason. For me, no, give that a complete miss. Number 4 would be my Revlon Colour Stay foundation. Now once again, the colour range is is pretty good for a high street foundation, and it does have a good range, but my colour was kind of in between the vanilla-y one and the very pale one, so I went for the paler one as always because that's the best option. It was very buildable, it was very long wearing, and it has certain components in the formulation that does give you that kind of oil control. So I did like it. It did exactly what it said it was going to do, but I just didn't like that the colour range was just, I would have needed to probably picked up 3 different foundations to get it bob on. And so I found that a bit annoying. So really it doesn't work out to be a cheaper option. Saying that, if you find the one that matches your skin, then this is a nice one to use, especially if you're on the oily side. Yeah, so it's okay. It's okay, but it is number 4. Number 3 would be the Urban Decay All Nighter foundation. I really like this foundation. It gives a really full coverage. It's very, very, packs with a lot of punch. You don't have to put a lot of product on to actually get that flawless finish onto the skin. 2 bugbears. One, I had to go for 1.5. It's very confusing, the colour range system. Now, I'm a professional makeup artist and I understand the whole colour wheel and where things and what you need to get. If I was just a consumer going onto the high street and going into the shop to buy it, you'd be completely flummoxed of what, it's so confusing and it's just unnecessarily confusing. But at the same time, on the other end of the scale, it helps to get your perfect colour match. The only thing is, always go down a shade because the product oxidizes. I'm really glad that I knew this because I was going to go for, I think it was 1.0 or 2.0 I was going to go for. And the girl was like, don't go for that, go for 1.5, go for a half a shade lower because she said it does oxidize, and she was totally right. And when I put the 1.5 on, I was like, oh, it's too pale. But then by about lunchtime, it was exactly matching as it should do. So be aware of that. you know, matchy, just be careful when you're going for that. It's really buildable. It goes on really nicely. Once again, any sort of kind of full coverage, if you suffer with quite large and open pores, make sure you use a pore filler primer. That really helps to give you that smooth finish to the skin. Yeah, I like it, but it's number 3. The L'Oreal Infallible Total Coverage. Now, the website boasts that this camouflaging formula but it covers tattoos. Now, I don't have any tattoos, so I couldn't really tell you if it does or not, but it does cover redness very well, and it covered it without loading too much product on the skin. So it did it in first application, which is, you know, very good. The pigmentation of the product was very nice. I liked the formulation of it. It does feel a little bit powdery when you know, if you kind of do like a little sample of it, and the shine didn't break through until very later on, so I'm talking near towards tea time. So it was excellent coverage for that. It left my skin feeling matte, very flawless. I'll put it here, I did a selfie of me wearing this foundation just after I had my hair cut, and with no filter at all, my skin looks flawless with it. So it is very good for the price. It's very good for what it does, and I definitely would, well, I'm saying I definitely would repurchase it. I've already repurchased it again. This is actually the second one. I bought it when it first came out. I think, was it beginning of last year? And then they've reformulated it and brought it out again, and I repurchased it again. So that, I think that speaks volumes, that it is a good foundation, and that's why it's number 2 in my list, on my list. Okay, so you probably already guessed it. My numero uno is going to be the Illamasqua Skin Base Foundation. It has excellent coverage. It's lightweight to the skin. It gives you that flawless finish. It has vitamin C in there, which already will give you that radiance. It's also conditioning the skin as you're wearing it. So over time, you find that your skin gets better. And it really softens and smooths out the skin beautifully. So although it's slightly a bit more pricey, I feel it's absolutely worth every penny. If skin is your thing and you want to get it absolutely flawless, then the Illamasqua Skin Base Foundation is for you. So I hope you found that really useful. I really enjoy testing these out. It's really good fun doing it. Let me know in the comments below if there's a particular product you would like me to try. Next time I will be doing concealers. Yeah, so look out for that coming soon. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe round about here somewhere. You'll see mine and Richard's face, and we'd love you to come back again. Take care, and I'll see you next week.